Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majestic back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Studios with your weather update here on your June the 23rd, 2026. Well, things looking pretty good out there across North Georgia. We're still finding some clouds that have been slow to clear out. It will clear out eventually here for tonight, setting up for some very nice weather. We've been seeing the dew points kind of falling all day as the air is drying out, and we're going to have some unusually cool weather here overnight. But don't get used to it, folks. We're going to have a pretty decent day ahead for Wednesday, but the trend is warming as we go into the weekend, and we could see some of the hottest temperatures of the summer as we go into next week, and I'm going to show you why here in this update. Now, before we get rolling, if you're new here to our YouTube channel and you live anywhere across North Georgia, let me quickly introduce myself as your personal weatherman. I would love for you to hire me. I'm on a mission to build a professional 24-hour weather channel, and it's all about the numbers when you're trying to do a venture like this, so you can surely help us out. Please just subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on all future weather updates, as well as any potential live severe weather coverage we will do when it's warranted, okay? All right, appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into this update here for this afternoon as we're looking at, again, some sun and some clouds mixed in around Dahlonega for this afternoon, but boy, it feels so nice. You got a nice little breeze going outside. It's feeling very good overall. Looking here into Helen, Georgia as well, looking at some sunshine and a few clouds. Again, you see a nice little breeze. See the wind there kind of blowing the trees around a little bit, but definitely shaping up for a delightful afternoon here across North Georgia. Radar is quiet, unlike it was 24 hours ago when we were tracking that severe weather and moving it across the area. Nothing like that really in the foreseeable future. In fact, the trend is for at least the next 7 to 10 days where I think we're going to see not only hotter temperatures, but drier weather overall as well. Now, looking at the local temperatures, boy, they feel pretty nice out there. We got a lot of 70s across North Georgia, low 80s down toward Atlanta. Again, the humidity has been dropping because the dew points have been falling this afternoon through the 50s. So it's going to set up for a very pleasant night here across our area. Regionally, looking at regionally across the southeast, got a little bit of activity down here across South Georgia firing up. Got some stuff over in the Carolinas, but really looking pretty nice here across North Georgia. We're all clear and looking for a very quiet night. Satellite picture showing a little bit of a cooler advection, I would say. We got a little pocket of some cooler, moist air kind of in there. And when you have something like that and you get the daytime heat, it kind of bubbles up the atmosphere, so you kind of get those clouds to fire up in there. You know, we see that pretty routinely, like in the colder months. But seeing that right now is definitely keeping the clouds in. But that'll go away once the sun goes down. Things will clear out. And we're going to have a pretty nice night and a pretty decent day ahead for your Wednesday. Now, one of the things we're going to start seeing the change here as we look at the thunderstorm outlook here for the next 3 days. You're not going to see a whole lot of activity at all. Wednesday's bringing some stuff over in Alabama. There is a question mark on Thursday. There's a little disturbance that may slide in. No severe weather with this, but anything that pops on Thursday or Friday for that matter will be pretty isolated. So we're not going to see a whole lot of rain chances there. Now, on top of that, one of the things you could tell we're seeing this nice pattern change is, we've been showing the excessive rain output here pretty regularly, almost daily. And when you look for the next 5 days, you don't see anything coming over North Georgia for a change, which is something we just have not seen here going back really into the middle portion of May when we started to see that pattern change that started bringing us the wetter weather and allowed us to kind of beat back the drought conditions across the area. So it's going to be drying up and heating up. So that drought, which has been improving, could start to slip back a little bit if this stays for too long. All right, now looking at the regional model, there's one thing I do want to point out for you guys here on the short-range model run is that we got a little disturbance that's kind of riding in through parts of Mississippi. This is going into your Wednesday, and it's rotating around. You see it kind of spinning around there, coming in through Alabama with some showers and storms, and then it kind of showing some rains trying to sneak into parts of Georgia going into, say, Wednesday night and maybe something going into Thursday. I will say that feature's really weak, and on the European, it's further south. So for right now, I'm keeping the rain chances pretty limited, but if this is to verify out, the rain chance may come a little bit. But again, nothing too widespread expected with this as this moves on out. And then, we should set up for a pretty nice weekend, although it's going to be a bit steamy out there. Again, everything that's going to be popping here is going to be kind of isolated for both Thursday and Friday. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this pattern change that's coming our way. Here's the jet stream. This is the European. We kind of had this northwesterly flow. This is kind of zonal, but kind of like this. But watch what happens with this as we go into next week. You're going to notice a pretty decent change here in its configuration. So as I take it into next week here at the end of this run, you're going to notice a big ridging taking place. And what that's going to allow is a high pressure to kind of start to build in across the area here. So the high pressure is going to be setting up right in there, and that's going to allow the heat to kind of build across not only our area, but all across the southeast. So it's going to get kind of warm here across the southeast and cooler out in the west. So get ready. It's this heat dome
sets up. For right now, I don't think it's going to stay there for too long, but it's at least going to linger through next week and going into 4th of July weekend. So just get ready for some very hot temperatures. In the meantime, looking at our short-term model run here, looking at the cold fronts, again, we got that one front down to the south that's kind of washing out, but high pressure is kind of in control of our weather right here, and we are looking at, again, limited rain chances here over Wednesday and Thursday. The only little question mark will be that little disturbance if it unexpectedly kicks up a little more activity than what's expected. All right, so here's our forecast here for Gainesville, looking at 84.62. Boy, that's nice. Anytime you can say lower 60s and 50s in June, you're definitely accepting that. That's for sure. Check these out. We're probably going to see some widespread 50s here across a lot of northeast Georgia here going into tomorrow morning. These might be just a little underdone, but we're going to have some very comfortable temperatures in the morning. And then the afternoon highs are also looking pretty good as we go into the afternoon here as we go toward 5 o'clock. Again, looking at a few upper 70s, lower mid-80s, upper 80s down toward Atlanta, but definitely either at or slightly below normal with the temperatures going into your Wednesday as well. Looking at the regionally perspective here, again, no real big heat. Got some lower 90s over in the Carolinas, but really everybody here not bad. Obviously, we got a little bit of rainfall here showing up with that disturbance through Mississippi. That's why that's temperatures there in the 70s. But overall, not overly hot. But this map, I'm telling you, by the time we get toward next Wednesday, it's going to look a whole lot different and a lot hotter. I think we're going to see a lot more 90s, and those feel-like temperatures, yeah, they'll be popping 100 plus. So get ready for, again, the hottest temperatures of the summer season coming here to North Georgia. Next 7 days, here we go. Again, we'll keep that very slight rain chance there for Thursday and Friday because of that little disturbance. We'll see what happens with that. But look at the temperatures. They're climbing, folks. We're in the low 90s by Sunday, 93 on Tuesday. We could see some middle 90s going into Wednesday and Thursday, even getting into Gainesville. So it's going to be pretty hot, pretty steamy going into next week. So the best advice I can give you is check those ACs and make sure they're working properly. Now, getting into that time of year, when you get this kind of heat building across the area, you can get prone to getting those surprise big thunderstorms to flare up at any time. So you may want to go ahead and download our free weather app. And again, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything here, folks. If you're an Apple user, it's the QR code up on top. If you're an Android user, it's the QR code there on the bottom. Go ahead and download that. This app will tell you about rain approaching area, alert you about that, lightning nearby, alert you about that as well. It'll give you severe weather alerts, hour-by-hour forecast, and a nice future cast to kind of show you where that rain's projected to go over the next hour. It's one of the best weather apps in the business, and it's free. Sponsored by our friends at Roof It Forward out of Woodstock, Georgia. They're one of the best quality roofing companies in North Georgia, and every job they do, they give a portion back to local children's charity. So check them out there if you can, and give them a call if you need a new roof. So again, appreciate you guys checking us out here for your update. Again, we're kind of transitioning from a very wet and rainy and stormy period here for the last 5-6 weeks or so. We're going to dry out for a little bit. Now, I know folks are a little concerned, we're going to fall back in a drought. Looking at the long range, I don't believe that's going to be the case. I think we're going to be a little steamy here going into July, but I think as we get further into July, I think the pattern is going to revert back into a more active pattern with the jet stream where we kind of see better chances for rain further into the month of July. But at least to start out, it's going to be a little hot and it's going to be a bit dry. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out here on the YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed, what you waiting for, my friend? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell. It's so critical to make sure you get the latest weather updates. Weather's always changing, and also to be alerted when we're ever doing any live severe weather coverage, which we will do for North Georgia exclusively when it's warranted. All right, that is y'all's update. Y'all be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Bye-bye.